big American names on the women's side of things in a race, Gordon, that does have a lot of people in that low 220 range, but there's no clear favorite. There's no clear recent superstar. A lot of the PBs are from many years ago. A lot of the folks in there are unproven, or they're folks that are on the tail end of their career. When you look overall at this field, does this look like a field that Americans like Hasay, Linden, and Huddle can run well against?
Maybe. I mean, I'm gonna always have this kind of similar take. Is like the marathons are just such a flip of a coin. There's
Mhm.
always this chance you could have a situation with weather where all of a sudden the entire field is decimated. You could have situations where everyone is on their A game and it's hard for Americans to keep up with some of the East Africans.
Mhm.
So for me to predict or project how I think they'll do, it's purely be a made up speculation. But,
Yep.
some of these women have run their PBs more recently, like in 2020 and 2019. And, I think I'm probably, I think it's always better to kind of expect less and then be surprised at the result, right? So in this situation,
Yeah.
as an American, I'll probably expect less from the Americans and then be happily surprised if they do find a way to put one or two in the top five.
Well, let's look at the field here. Let's look at the competition, and then we'll go through how Linden and Hasay and Huddle potentially will fare. So after scratches, the top seed now is Edna Kiplagat, who's 41 years old. She's solid, right? She's second in 2019 in Boston. She's been great late in her career, but a lot of her major performances are coming from, and her fast times are coming from almost 10 years ago now. Then you have Mari DeBaba, PBs from 2012. She hasn't raced since 2019. Angela Tanui, who was a late ad there, she's someone who might make some noise because her PB came from this year, but it was in Tuscany. Tuscany. Then you have Edessa, who ran fast in 2019, hasn't raced since. Kabede from Ethiopia, third in Tokyo, but this will only be her second world marathon major. It seems like you got the two opposite ends of the spectrum here, and I could go down the list. It's like they have a ton of experience, but it's been a while since they've been relevant or at least been a force in the marathon, or they're really unproven or inexperienced at this stage, which I think bodes well for some folks who I don't know, are somewhere in the middle, right? They've run a couple marathons, they got room, they're experienced with the distance, but they have some room to grow. Maybe they can take advantage on Monday.
Yeah, I feel like you're nitpicking some of these top East African elites because we can find really big nitpicks on like the top three Americans.
Oh,
Hasay
100%.
has not, yeah,
Yep.
Hasay has not looked like the 2017 Hasay that ran 220.
Sure,
Like
sure, sure. Yeah.
her half marathons haven't been that fast. She didn't run that well at the trials. It's been a while since Hasay has been the poster child of the next great marathoner. Huddle, kind of similar. I mean, she has her 226 PB, which compared to people who run 220, it seems massively slow. At the
Mhm.
time, you're like, oh, she's just getting her feet wet, but she hasn't found a way to jump full all in into the marathon. Um, we thought maybe that would come at the trials. It didn't come at the trials. So
Yeah.
Huddle has kind of big question marks of, are you even ready to go to run a fast marathon? And then Linden, while she's always notorious for being overlooked and underappreciated, and she had a big moment in was 2018. Was that the or
Mhm.
17?
Yeah. 18.
18 when she won. At the same time, she is on the wrong side of 35, right? Is she over 35?
Mhm. Yeah.
So there's a point where eventually that's gonna she's not in ending her prime. She's probably on the other side of her prime. She's been doing like some crazy trail races and ultras and doing crazy running experiments, running a mile every day and adding one throughout an entire month.
Right.
So she's definitely fit, and she's not like washed up by any means. But the question is she as zeroed in and focused on the marathon as she was 3 years ago,
Yeah.
like between 2016 and 2020? You know,
Yeah. I mean, the
it,
50K
and
record, the 50,
yeah,
50K record last year showed that she was healthy, but let's not forget she was fourth in the trials. She almost made the team
it's true.
in Atlanta. So she's still very much relevant. I'm not saying none of these I'm not saying the Americans obviously don't have shortcomings. Of course they do. What I'm saying is when you look at the international field, this is not London where you have five women who went sub 219. This is not New
Yeah,
York that has Perez Jepchircher who just won the Olympic marathon. This isn't Chicago that has Ruth Chepnegich in it who's run 217 and has won a world title before. None of the like those folks don't exist